This lesson, we're going to be covering off headings. Now, headings are H1, so there's 6 different types of headings that are built into HTML. So we've got our largest is H1, and we go down from there. So we can do an H2, which will be smaller, an H3 that will be even smaller, and an H4 that will be even smaller than that. So maybe I'm just going to take some of the extremes here, change these up to 3 to 3 and to 6 in order so you can get a better idea of how they're being presented. So H1, the largest heading, and going all the way down. Now the way that headings work within HTML is that they present the content in order to highlight content. So headings, just as the name implies, so this is the important information of a website if you've got a lot of content, and the way to divide that up is to use headings. So typically you're going to see that websites coming in, they're going to start it with a heading 1, and as they've got subheadings, then they're going to apply heading 2, 3, and all the way down. You very rarely see anyone get to H6. You do see H1s almost on every single web page, and the other reason that people are using them on a regular basis is that there's a lot of importance there for HTML. So we do want to try to include those as much as possible on our websites in order to have search engines better understand the content and how we're trying to present it. So besides headings, we also have different ways to present content. So we've got what's called list items. So we've got 2 different types of lists that we can create. We can create an ordered list or an OL and open and close that. And then content within here, these are going to be list items. So if we had a list that we are creating, we'd have list item 1, and we can have as many list items as we need. And we see that automatically we're getting that numbered. So it starts out with 1, goes all the way to 4 as we increment. So there are some options with this as well. So if I want to specify what we're starting with, we could start with a certain value. So we see here we're starting with 5. So we're going 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. So with the list items as well, we can present it in different types. So if we want to present it, let's say with Roman numerals, so we can just indicate that the type is I. We see that it automatically switches to the Roman numeral format. We can have the uppercase Roman numeral format as well. So if we want to present it within that way, we could present it with letters. So it can start out with A and present it with type of A. So the first one would be A. So if we're starting out at 1, we see that it's A, B, C, D. We also have an option to do uppercase. So quite a lot of options in presenting lists. Another thing that you can do with list items is present them as unordered lists. So the difference between ordered lists and unordered lists is that unordered lists present them with bullet points. So we see that when I change that to UL, but we still do it the same way where we've got the list items. We just present it with the UL, and we can see that now it's being presented as list items. And with styling, of course, we have the option, so this is unordered list and this is ordered list, so OL and UL. And with the list, they both use list items in the same way, and we don't actually have any different types as we do with the ordered lists. And if we do want to change these bullet points, we can actually do that within styling. And much like the paragraphs that we had looked at earlier, it's already got some predefined styling. So we already have these predefined indents. It knows that we're presenting the list items. We've got the index here or the key here, and then the value that's being presented with that list item. So it already understands that this is how we want it presented and formatted. So these are some examples of how to start creating formatting within your HTML page. And of course, this is really good prep to start preparing to create actual styling to it. A lot of times you're going to see unordered lists being used as navigation bars because this is just a great way to present that content to the user and in a really readable format within our HTML code. And of course, we're going to look at that later on as we progress through the course.